Welcome to the Screen Time Continuum. It's a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. We are here to give you a new show. That's right, something you haven't heard us talk about, but hopefully by now you've watched because it's about 2 or 3 days in. This is a great episode I think we're about to get into, but hey, before I get all into how great the episode is and even what it's about, you don't need to know any of that. My name is Keelan. I'm here with the fellas. What's going on, Mike? What's going on, Nick? How you feeling?
I'm feeling
So,
great. I don't know if Mike's there.
right?
Yeah,
Right?
we here.
Okay.
That's supposed to be a collaborative, like I'm doing great.
I know. I think we both didn't want to step on each other's toes, so we just stayed silent.
Right.
Uh, that's what happens when there's no lead singer. I totally understand. But
No worries.
Nick, how you doing?
Wait, aren't
I'm
you the
doing
lead
all right.
singer right now?
I mean, yeah, but see how you just stepped on that man's toes? That's what we were trying to avoid, I thought.
That's what we were avoiding.
Well, we're doing it live. That's what happens. I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. I can't complain, man. Honestly, I'm a little excited to talk about this nonsense, but at the same time, acknowledging that it is nonsense.
Okay.
Right on.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about that.
Yes, indeed. Mike, how you feeling over there? What you up to?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. I got some sleep.
Always good.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, let's let the people know what we're getting into. We are watching House of the Dragons. No. Hot D, season 2, episode 8. This is the finale, the grand finale for season 2. And this episode is titled The Queen Who Ever Was, even though in the show I evaluated was probably a typo. It should be called The Queen Who Never Was, but maybe it's a play on words as far as what happens in the episode. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that it is a turn on the words for sure.
It makes sense. I'll run with that because that actually makes sense. But at the same time, it's not well understood because, huh? But yeah, let's get into some first impressions. Heh is a part of my first impression, but am I going first? Nah, probably not. Mike, you want to go first with your first impressions?
First impressions is not enough people died.
What are you talking about, man? A whole town died.
Not enough people died.
Oh, you weren't
Innocent-
satisfied with the off-screen death of a whole entire town?
Right. There was a lot of innocent people who died off screen, but what good does that do me?
Right.
Not enough characters that he knew of died. Okay.
And not enough people who deserved it. especially.
Deserved. Damn.
Uh.
To say somebody deserved death means you actually watched this whole season.
Cole.
But yeah, Nick, what are your first impressions of this episode?
Well, while I agree with Mike, definitely there wasn't enough stakes. At least it felt like, there was some really good momentum with this season that was happening around episode 6 and then into episode 7. And I feel like episode 8 is sort of also the ramp up for this. But the idea that you're going to end the entire, season without any resolution or climax,
It
to me
plateaued.
it just fell off a cliff at the end because I'm thinking to myself, wait. You did everything in episode 8 that you could have and probably should have done in episode 6. Or 7. And I feel like we were sort of like they just sort of took the climax of the whole season away from us. And it's maybe because there's only one climax there is, and that's the Dance of the Dragons. But they could have easily just did a scene where Aemond burns down the entire town, and that would have been enough of a climax to add something to this episode, but they didn't.
And probably do it at the end of the episode too, just to give it that dramatic ramp up to something about to happen.
Right.
Some kind of major event.
Him burning down a city at the beginning of the episode, in my opinion, was like what's about to happen now? This is crazy to start.
Yeah, but then nothing happens.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Also, he probably could have burnt down a more significant town, someplace we've heard of, maybe.
Well, see, they didn't do that because it was just him throwing a tantrum.
Ooh,
Right.
Throw a tantrum where it matters. Get off where you mad.
Right, and I'll be honest, I thought this episode was going to be Mr. Hightower making his return. Nope.
He made a return
No.
already.
Nope.
Yeah, I guess he does make his return to the season, but apparently he's just behind bars.
Wherever he is.
Yeah.
He's probably dead.
No, according to this episode, he's not dead, but he is not free either.
It could be
Did I miss
maybe
something?
Yes, apparently.
yeah,
Oh, man.
he didn't get freed from his cell, but I think now that I think of it, do you guys think that it was Rhaenyra that had him imprisoned?
I would have.
Possibly.
I mean,
Yeah.
actually, I would have just killed him, but
I think
he
it's-
was a player. He was a token that needed to be taken off the board.
Yeah, I do think it's somebody holding him captive, waiting to utilize him to their advantage.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Keelan, what were your first impressions?
My first impressions of episode 8, we kind of just touched on it. It started like it was about to get real crazy, and then it kind of just turned into
Oh, he got so excited he dropped out. Hold on just a moment. There you go. Now you're back.
oh man, I'm not sure what you guys missed or heard, but essentially, to me, this looks like an episode where an episode of Soul Train, old school Soul Train, where everybody's doing the Running Man and no other dance. It was just a lot of movement, like personal movement. There didn't
Yeah.
really seem like it didn't seem like anybody aside from Aemon, who is trash. But he's probably officially my new most hated character, and mostly because he's soft. Like it looked like he was becoming a tough guy, but he's so soft and fragile.
Yeah.
Well, One
Yeah.
Eye is now the leader of the Sith. He's just throwing tantrums with his dragon.
He's the Sith leader. Yeah. Yeah. Keelan, you brought something interesting up, I think. I agree with that. I think there really is no overarching narrative change in the entire season. So basically, we've sort of haven't moved anywhere on the board, except that now we're about to do something.
Right. Honestly, I feel like I've been watching medieval housewives.
Yeah.
Days of Our Nights.
There you go.
Legit. Legit. And I think what's weird to say is one of the most interesting parts of this particular episode. We'll dibble and dabble about the season in a minute too, but one of the most interesting things about this particular episode is Jace's lack of sense of humor and ultra sensitivity. So you basically have the two. Well, Jace is actually Rhaenyra's oldest kid, but the two heir apparents, one of which is playing Regent right now, and we just see how spoiled the both of them are. That's like this entire episode is based around these sniveling brats who also happen to be the people virtually in control, but
waging the war. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because this has proven that this war is Jace versus Aemon.
It kind of is. I mean, if you look about season 1, was it Jace that slashed his eye, or was it Luke?
No, it was Luke. It was Luke, wasn't it?
It was Luke. Okay.
Yeah.
But yes, it's been a basic. It's been basically a kid fight this entire time.
Mm-hmm. But it's not even like they're not supposed to even be the significant players.
Right.
Like
yeah.
But if you look at the promos, it's the two queens versus each other. Come on. Stick with the narrative, fellas.
Yeah.
But they don't even really get to that point. I mean, we'll see, I guess, in season 3. Yeah, I just felt like you could have just iced the cake. It's like you gave me a decent cake, but then you didn't put any icing on it. And I'm like, all right, well, this is a decent cake, but
artificial frosting.
Oh God, that stuff's the worst.
Right.
How sweet that is, like instant diabetes anytime I try that. Oh,
that's crazy. I don't even
know. You know what I'm talking about, Keelan. Come on, everybody's had that icing from the grocery store.
No,
that
I
just
do. That's what I'm saying. I have nothing to say. It's just that's crazy.
Okay.
That's the reference we're using.
Yep.
I don't like that stuff enough to even remember it like that. But I mean, to bring it up in any discussion. But I co-sign.
Keelan's fancy. He's a ganache guy.
No. What's that? What's the other one?
Moose.
Moose? What?
Yeah,
I
not
can't.
to get too far off the subject, but
Yeah, I'm like
the
I don't. I'm not a big icing guy. That's all. I know.
no, I
I
get
like
you.
it. Oh, buttercream.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess that is kind of
Mike,
fancy.
what's your favorite icing?
The good cut.
Fair enough.
Well, with speaking of icing, the icing on this episode where a couple of people got their ass chewed out. You know what? That's probably a bad choice of word. But a couple of players in here did get a peace of mind from lower level ranked characters in this. I thought that was the icing on top. Is people tend to be seem to be growing a backbone as the change of the guard moves around.
This is a great episode 8 in a 10 episode season.
I fully agree with that.
Yeah.
That is, I was literally saying like, man, they need 2 more episodes. Like the way this particular episode ended and everything, to the point of which the way this episode ended makes me wonder, like, how do you correlate this particular episode into the fruition of a season? Like this episode does not end a season, and it
You
doesn't
know what
set up a season 3.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, all it does, I think all it does is sort of set up season 3 because it's like, oh, now everybody's going to war. But
Well, I
it
mean,
kind of,
true.
yeah.
Sorry.
No worries. I just said it kind of reminded me of the scene in Game of Thrones at the end of season 6 when Daenerys is sailing across the narrow sea. I think that they were trying to replicate that sort of feeling, but again, we want to see the battle or at least a battle or some conflict.
Yeah.
And I don't think we saw any of that.
It's too early in the season, and you're dragging storylines out too long to end a season like this.
Yeah.
This
sure.
is it, and that's what makes Game of Thrones. What made Game of Thrones different, just because for point of your reference. First off, 10 episode seasons. Let's start with that.
Mhm.
Every episode was guaranteed an hour, except for your finale, which this one was a little over. But every 2 to 3 episodes, even if you went from episode 1 until episode 4, for you finished a storyline, storylines were being completed and in succession.
Mhm.
There's no, where did this season begin? The season began
It's the same place.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Like
agree.
the only
Nothing
difference
was
that I see is
resolved.
yeah, nothing was resolved. And that's why I say the only difference, even in this episode shows it, is just personal movement. People going from point A to point B. I don't live in King's
Yes.
Landing, I live in Dragonstone.
The biggest story arc in this season is actually what's his name? Damon's ego death via psychedelics.
Yeah. Which, and honestly, that might be the most, you know what? That might be the icing on the cake.
I mean, maybe that is. Yeah.
Well, you know what? We'll talk about it in a moment. Mike said how. I actually, that's probably one thing I do want to talk about.
Okay.
And I'm not saying I don't want to talk about this episode, but I mean like something where no notes, even if you only saw like a piece of that, if you could have missed a part of it, it still holds some weight. So I mean,
Sure. Yeah.
Again, moving things forward, I'm not sure, but levity. That particular storyline does have a little levity to it. So let's get this going. Let's get the beginning of it. The episode starts with Tywin Lannister over in Essos, trying to negotiate with the kings of the 3 tribes. I forgot, what do they call themselves? I forget.
The Triarch.
Pirates,
the
aren't they?
Triarch. There we go. What'd you say?
They're pirates, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they're all pirates. But he's negotiating for help since Rhaenyra has instituted the blockade and is basically choking the life out of King's Landing because food is scarce. Now they go to the Triarchy, he sent Tywin so that he can have a discussion with them, and they're like, "Yo, why would we help you? What the fuck do we stand to gain from that? We don't like you. You don't like us. You better be lucky you here as a messenger, and this ain't 300." Because you're not supposed to kill
into a pit. Yeah.
Right. So that being that was really, I wish I had paid more attention to that. That was really the start and end of this episode. Like that was the catalyst to how this episode was going to go. You're going to be informed, heavily informed. After that, he has to fight their captain. Their captain is a lady that they call Lohar. I'm sorry, but they did call him a him. His name is Lohar, is what they said.
Wait,
Did
what?
they?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. At the beginning, they said his name is Lohar. I made sure to note that. But either
All
way,
right.
he
Well, I
has
have no
to compete
comments
with
on
her.
that.
It's all good. Yeah, I was like, anybody know. But so what happens is he decides, or excuse me, they decide that Tylan has to fight Lohar or do whatever Lohar insists of for him to gain her trust and for her to give them their ships for war. And of course, as the captain of the fleet, she'll be going with him. And what ends up happening in that particular, not just in that scene, but just as that goes on, we go away from that. We come back and they're fighting in a mud pit. And she's giving him the bit, like whipping his ass. And then
Like
he gets a little
excessively.
irritated. Right. Then he gets a little irritated because I'm realizing, like, okay, she can fight, but she's also just at it. Like she's an actual fighter. So she's at it. She's at it a little faster than him. He gets a little frustrated, puts his back into it, and knocks her the fuck out, makes her teeth bleed. Um, which I thought she was actually going to get up and try to kill this dude, but she appreciated that. Like, oh, okay. Like you
She
ain't
kind of
Fell from
reminded me.
spine, I guess.
right.
She was kind of cartoonish for me.
Yeah.
I think that was the
but
point of her character.
I guess, but it was very quippy, like a Marvel movie. The way she would constantly like mistake his name and not say his name right.
Oh yeah,
Um,
she was flirting hard.
Yeah, and then like death by snoo snoo at the end. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
well, yeah,
Snoo,
this seems
snoo.
cartoonish.
Yeah, because they end up having dinner, or a feast. Sorry, they end up having a feast with everyone. She says, "Yeah, they're gonna go," and then tells him, I want children by you. And it's like, wait, even he's like, what? Fuck you
Yeah,
say to
but
me,
I want
Charlie
you to
Murphy?
impregnate my wives.
Right.
What you
I
don't
want
know
your
is that my
Weird.
wives are very tall and have beards.
I mean, yeah, because he said how many wives, and they never get to that. Like the entire episode, we never find out how many wives. The next time we see them, in fact, they're on ships headed to war.
So he had to do it.
He had to do it. I think
Yeah.
so. I think the joke she made about him not wanting to eat cannibal meat, which was turned out to be a joke, she said. I think the death by snoo snoo thing was no joke. Like, no.
I guess not. And maybe she lives in opposite world, you know?
Explain.
Well, you said that they referred to her as him, and then
Oh,
he has many wives, so maybe the wives are men?
Ugh.
yeah.
Well, you can't impregnate him. Never mind.
No, hey. I wasn't getting into that. I was just getting into
Well, I
I
only
don't
I
Thailand
only
might have had
almost
to
said it
do a little
because
bit
that's what
more
she
for
said
the
she
queen.
wanted.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what she said she wanted.
Yes, she did do that. Yeah.
So anyway,
So
the next,
Thailand takes one. I'm sure he wasn't all that upset about it unless they
yeah, I
were,
think he takes 1 or 5 for the team.
yeah.
And for sure wasn't upset about it. He ain't getting no snoo snoo back on King's Landing.
Definitely not.
I
Death
mean,
by or otherwise. Well, without going to the pleasure house, he's not getting any. You think he got to live in? You think he was living in San Mike?
absolutely.
He doesn't have a vow. He's just a part of the council or whatever.
He is small council. No, he's a
Yeah.
knight, isn't he?
Oh no, he's like the Lord of
you're right,
Casterly
he's a
Rock.
Lannister.
He's the
Yeah, he's a
Lannister. Yeah.
He and his brother both technically run that thing together, I guess, right? Either way, Aemon goes and he burns Sharp Point, which is a town that we've never heard of. So it kind of matters, but it doesn't. It only matters because Rhaenyra is like, "Fuck you mean he burned down the homies? We must face this affront." Um, and
We
then
must do something about this by not doing anything about it.
man. Well, talk about not doing anything about anything. Aemon clearly doesn't want his brother to make it, but he ain't doing nothing about it. And so Larys goes and he tells Aegon about how angry Aemon's become and how he's basically destroying the city, or excuse me, destroying the reputation of the family in so many words. And instead of like running or wanting to run, Aegon wants to fight him. Aegon wants to get up, go to the council. Hey, let's get this man the fuck up out of here. What he doing here? And Larys talks him out of it, tells him it would make him look weak, and runs him away to the we don't know. But they're going to run.
Yeah. So you think that that's confirmed that he actually does leave
I think he's gonna just be in hiding. I don't think he's gonna go far. I think he'll do like his mama and go hide in King's Woods.
in the forest? Go
Hmm.
glamping for a day.
Hmm. That's it. He's just gonna put down his millions, and for 2 whole days, he gonna be out in the world and try to remake his millions, only to say it's too hard.
It's like Michael Scott when he decided to be redo Man versus Wild or whatever, or
Oh,
Survivor Man.
and you were wrong. There was a mention of that because he
Oh
mentioned
well,
that
that's.
his
Mhm.
popped.
Oh
Mm.
yes. Oh, you're right. Dang. Yeah.
Yeah.
We almost got away with one episode of no penis reference.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't even. I missed that part. I'm glad I missed that part. But yeah, apparently that
Yeah,
happened.
you didn't miss nothing. It was horrible to hear.
That's all right. No, don't need any extra thoughts of that in my head.
Hmm.
But uh, well, thought you had something to say. So anyway,
Nope.
but he really wants to get up and take him out. But what Laris also explains to him is that Aegon has weakened their army, their military. Like they're much weaker now because one, he killed Aegon's dragon, right? Um, Also, not just by killing Aegon's dragon, he's given the time by ignoring information and things that were coming his way for Rhaenyra to get upset enough. He left the borders open so Rhaenyra was able to get some people, and now she has what they said originally. Now we count them up from what we know is 6 dragons, but they said 7 dragons, which means I think script wise there was a bit of an error that alludes to Rhaena getting her dragon.
Oh yeah, maybe. I would try to count them all right now, but I don't feel like it. So
Nope.
pass.
Not gonna do it. Never gonna do it. Never gonna do it. um, but yeah, they have Vagar. They have um one that what their little brother. Somebody else has a dragon. Dreamfire or not Dreamfire. Sorry, Helena, Aemon,
Mhm.
and then who else has a dragon on their side? One more, isn't it?
They said there was a mention of like a younger sibling or child that has like a small dragon, but they don't. I don't think we've seen them.
No, 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 we haven't seen them. I just remember it was mentioned.
Hmm.
But either way, talking about dragons and what I was saying, Reyna is still searching for her wild dragon that eventually she does kind of see, but we never see her actually touch, tame, or even deal with it.
That
Oh,
whole that whole section of storyline has been a letdown.
that
So
was a
far,
big
yeah.
letdown. Yeah.
But I'm thinking from the little bit of research I had done a while ago, that must be the largest dragon in the world.
That's kind of
Uh,
the way they kind of make it sound.
it's not though, because
Is it the dragon that eats dragons, the cannibal dragon?
I don't think it's cannibal. It's I don't know what its name is yet. I think they call it goat thief right now, but
Mm.
Vagar is still bigger than that. It's just that that's also a very large dragon, and if they have 4 very large dragons, then Vagar is toast.
Well, I mean, even with the numbers they got, Vagar's toast.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All they got to do is whittle him down, or two
would
at
have
a
been great
time,
to would have been
catch him off
great to see
guard.
it. I would have loved to see it. That would have been awesome. Could you guys imagine
Right.
if we actually get to see that?
That's why season 3 is going to be 2 episodes.
It's gonna be 2 episodes. Yes.
I mean,
and it's
I mean, I don't know how they're going to stretch it into a whole season.
oh they will. They stretch season 2 out. I mean, really, again, we just said that season 2 doesn't really move anywhere. It begins where it ends and ends where it begins.
Right. But here's the thing: what they did move along was they ramped up the war effort. So now there's no stopping the war. We're
Yeah.
at the point where they have to fight. All the soldiers are in place. All the dragons are in place. Only thing left to do is actually start the war, which I
Fair.
guess technically already started, but they haven't
So
really
you're
fought any
saying-
real battles.
So you're saying 2 seasons and a movie?
There it is.
Yeah. I could see that, honestly. Yeah, because there really isn't much more story. I guess you could. Yeah, I mean, of course, they're going to draw it out to more episodes. It'll just be about talking about doing the war. And,
Exactly.
every third episode will be a thing that happens, and then it'll be just talking about the thing that happened.
I'm predicting that a lot of people are gonna die in the first episode. I mean,
I
a
don't
lot of
even.
like named characters that we know of, and
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
it's
that.
gonna start with Corliss.
Oh, you think they're setting them up for the fall?
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
I
trying
think
to
I think the
paint
very
him
first
poorly.
episode, the blockade people, all the ships, that's gonna be probably the first battle, and I think Corliss is gonna end up dying in that.
Yeah, he was just starting to feel better too. Dang it.
He was
Oh well.
he was just starting to be a man with his
Yeah.
illegitimate children's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you can call that what it is, it's like clearly he starts feeling some level of guilt, and that's what it is, which we thought that earlier in the season.
Yeah.
I think the
Of
only
course.
reason why he's feeling any level of guilt is because all his children are gone, his wife is gone. There's nothing
Yeah.
left but his illegitimate children at this point.
Who
And
apparently have worked
and
for
his
him the
one
whole time.
son is just like, I don't need you.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's crazy because apparently they've been working for him the whole time, so he's always known, and he never did anything to give them a leg up until his kids started dying.
Well,
Right.
except give them their jobs, I guess. Right.
I don't think he got them their jobs. I think they got the jobs on their own merit because he was never really participating in their lives. He might have been aware of who they were, but I don't think he did anything to help them. I mean, especially if their childhood was in the midst of starvation, he didn't really help them at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a theory, or a question, kind of. Do you guys think? Because my theory is that Corliss was actually married to, or at least with their mother ahead of time, and they're the oldest kids he has. And then because he is Valerian, at first he was just, nobody. He wasn't gonna become prince. He wasn't gonna become king. So he was just out there sowing his royal oats. And then one day, Rhaenys seen him and was like, this the person I want to be betrothed to type business. And when the houses started crashing, that's what they decided to do to keep the blood as pure as possible. And so he had to leave them behind. How do you guys feel about that theory?
Well, he definitely wasn't married, but I believe he probably had some level of relationship with their mother.
Yeah, it's possible.
Outside of just her being like a pleasure house employee.
Yeah, I think
she was that at all.
Right. I don't know if that needs to be that. Honestly, I really don't think they need to go that direction because I feel like any answer that answers that thing, it's just not going to be satisfactory to me. So they could just leave it as, they're just his sons, and we don't need to know anything about the mother.
Right.
Because it's not about the mother anyways. It's the only thing that would serve is to make him look more sympathetic, but I don't think they're doing a poor job at that as it is. I think he is
got
kind
a
of
son riding dragons now, and a son who's basically like the next confidant of the queen at this point.
He lost his wife, so he's already has sympathy, and people can relate to him. So I don't know why they would need to bring in the ex-wife angle.
Can't call it.
Can't call it.
That's a fair point, but I was just curious. Like I had all these thoughts about how that, because again, he was never there, so it wasn't to me. He couldn't be there. It wasn't like I don't want to be there. I figured he couldn't be there. He could at least pop up or disappear.
I can't say that because I think he's the typical deadbeat royal noble.
Because, like I said, Game of Thrones.
Yeah, because like I said, when his son said that we were starving and didn't have nothing to eat, you weren't there, and I think that was a choice. Because if you know that's your kid and you know that you had a woman pregnant and they in a situation, come on, man.
Well, and Adam is clearly older than Alan is clearly older than Alan as well.
Yeah.
So it wasn't no one night fling or nothing like that.
Right. They're
Maybe it
brothers,
was
so
a regular
he was
thing.
with the mother for at least a significant enough time, so he know about them. But
Mhm.
yet he did nothing and let them starve. Yeah, he's just another piece of shit.
Right. And I was wondering
I'm
just
not
how
gonna
much of that.
pretend like he's some better
Yeah.
than the rest of them, noble.
No, I get you, but then also questioning how much of that is with does Rhaenys hold part of, because she clearly knew something at first, like, oh, your mother must have been beautiful. Like, oh, so you knew my mama?
Well, yeah, I think she knew about it, but I mean, what was she gonna do?
Yeah.
But I get that part. I'm just, theorizing. Like, she's seen him and was like, nah, that's my husband now type business. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, I think
Why does she have to go
she knew about
steal
those
steal
children,
him?
right?
It's simple, you guys. He's a lord. He's a part of a royal family,
Yeah.
and
So they're
the
they're not
mother
bastards
was
anyway.
a peasant.
Oh,
Like,
for sure that. Yeah, that's not
it's
even a question.
nothing more than that. It's nothing more than that. He needed to marry Rhaenys because that's another powerful family, which is what happens to every person in Game of Thrones. And they tend to have things on the side with the lower class.
Yeah,
It's
have a
And
just
then
little
there's
play
a
the way it
certain level
goes.
of male privilege that comes with being a male noble. No one
Yeah,
cares if you out there banging other chicks because who gonna tell you not to, except for the
Look,
king.
right.
sir, you know what? And that plays into what Sir Hugh was saying about his mother, how she was apparently a Targaryen, and rich men would pay to sleep with her. So it's like she wasn't a whore, but at the exact same time, nobody probably knew what she was doing except the people who was paying for it.
Yeah, I think we've gone off the rails in this like non-existent mother thing. And I think it's just supposed to be like a character device that creates tension between the characters. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah, I don't
fair.
think there's any deeper lore in it.
It could be. We didn't read the
Who
book, so
knows?
we never
Well,
know what's there.
you have to wait till season 3, Keelan.
Yeah,
And then
or
you'll
until
know.
somebody who read the books tells us about it.
Uh, as far as as I know, I don't know if there would be much information about that unless it was very like historical or whatever.
Right.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's see. So did we talk about Rhaena going after the mystical goat eater?
Yeah, that whole story arc just was her running through the grass.
Man,
And
to
I
see it
just
from a distance.
to see it from a distance and not even see it very close for us as the viewers, I felt like that was a little bit of a cop out too. It's like, oh, you'll get to get a better look next season. Everything was stay tuned for next season. Yeah, next time, right?
All that and more next time on
Right.
Days of Our Nights.
And when you have to wait 2 years to get the next time, I really don't like that type of
Right.
marketing.
Because what am I supposed to do in that time in between?
Find another show to watch.
Forget
Clearly.
about it. That's what you're gonna do.
You're definitely gonna forget about it.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna forget about it. So let's see. Yeah, she goes looking for a wild dragon. I really wanted that to be more, but it wasn't. Jace has to get in Oath's ass because Oath ain't got no manners. He's disrespectful. He's the lowest of the lowest, peasant, drunk, all of that, and he just got the greatest power in history, a dragon. So he's all up in the castle, feet on your table, eating up your shit.
We don't need Ulf. Just cut his head off.
Yeah, they're disrespecting your house and shit.
As soon as Rhaena gets back, just cut his head off.
He was a disagreeable character before they even really propped him up.
Yeah.
When he was still in the damn tavern with his buddies, he was a butthole.
Yeah.
No
you just think that there would be a little bit of fear, and apparently he's just got no fear about any of it.
Yeah, towards anything. Like he touches Jace on the head, like it is stock as they say. Like, yo, my nigga.
He forgot all of his peasant attitude towards nobles and the hierarchy. Now that
maybe he's right. Maybe he never had it. Maybe he disliked the nobles until he became.
Well, of course he disliked the nobles. It was most of the peasants dislike nobles, but the point is, he forgets that these people control whether or not he can live or die.
Yeah,
because he feels like he's got this dragon, which you got to get to before you can, use the dragon for anything. You got to get to it. Dragon's not busting through the castle to save you because you have a psychic link. Not how
But
that
didn't
works.
that, excuse me, Mike, Game of Thrones season 5 would beg to disagree. When Daenerys gets stuck in the Colosseum, that's exactly what happens.
You know what? Fair enough.
And literally, it is what happens.
But I don't think he has enough Targaryen blood in him to pull that off.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not.
I'm just saying.
I
And
would like
even
to
if he
see
did-
Silverwing eat him, actually, to be honest. That would be great. He just keeps
Okay.
talking too much trash, and then the dragon just eats him.
It's turning. Yep. I'm going.
Like, you know what? I made a mistake.
Yeah,
I
can I pick another
apologize to
one?
everybody else.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
that cute little mixed girl go?
You know that's funny because Ulf, yeah, he is. He's made Sir Hughes all of a sudden likable, and we still don't know shit about him.
Yeah.
That's how bad
Well,
Ulf is.
Yeah, well, Sir Hugh is the one that has the wife and their kid died of starvation or whatever.
Did the kid die?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before
Oh,
he
no.
left, him and his wife talked about how their kid died.
I missed that.
Yeah.
That's
So I like
insane.
Sir Hugh, but you don't really get a lot. Like Keelan says, you're not getting very much about his character at all.
I think they're going to try to squeeze something in the next time. We even see a little bit of Adam kind of, showing his manners and being the ultimate brown noser kind of when it comes to him versus Oath as they sit at the table.
Bro,
later
that
in
was
the episode.
racist. How you
What I
gonna
said
do
was
that? You
What I
can't
said
say
was?
that. You can't. Yeah.
What I said.
That Adam is the ultimate brown noser. That's so messed up.
shit.
How are you gonna do that?
How dare
He
you,
just
sir?
got there.
How dare you?
No disrespect. No disrespect.
Is he a brown noser or is he just loyal to his queen? Like legitimately.
I'll let you be the decider on that one.
I
think
think
he's
he
just-
legitimately is just loyal.
I think he's just smart enough to understand his, like how he needs to interact with these types of people.
Right. And then there's that.
I mean, everybody back then, etiquette wasn't a class; it was a way of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could easily get killed by a noble for anything even perceived as a discourteous fart. I mean, like anything. You could frown in their general direction. They think it's aimed at them. Off with your head, and no one's gonna do anything about it.
No, they're just gonna say, "Oh, did you see that way the head came off his body?"
Right.
But so let's say,
What else?
We
What
get
other
that.
characters do we need? Oh, Cole. Cole has
Cole.
had a change of heart.
Did he?
yeah,
Or did he just come to the
no,
realization that he's a scumbag?
No,
No,
he
he-
did. It's what we were saying in the other episode is how he's been broken, essentially.
Yeah, he's become a nihilist. He's basically decided that nothing matters and who cares, and we all should just want to die.
Mike's like, I'm not buying it. I don't remember it. I'm good.
No, I remember it. He's the one character I can't wait to see die, but now they're trying to make him. They're trying to give him some kind of humanity that I should care about.
Be careful, Mike. He's literally staring over you right now.
And
Just saying, he's
No.
watching. He's watching you.
I
Like a
beat him
hog.
up.
He said it'll beat him up.
Oh, okay, cool. Anyways, what other characters, guys?
So let's see. So Rhaenyra gets warned by Corlys to not to doubt Helena and her capabilities, even though she's not a warrior, she's still a dragon rider. So she poses a threat.
Yeah.
He ends up renaming his ship the Queen Who Never Was, and pledges his loyalty to Rhaenyra, which I'm not sure why he had to do that for a fifth time.
Couldn't he just call this ship Rainey's?
I thought so.
That's probably too
So-
spot on.
Oh, the other one's wordy. The Queen Who Never Was.
Thank you.
Wordy for a
Less
ship
spot
name.
on.
Less spot on and just way too many words. Like, what do you sail
I agree.
on?
I thought that was
sail on
kinda
the
stupid.
Queen Who Never Was.
I mean,
Yeah, no.
it was it was
Yeah,
important in the moment, I guess. Because in the moment, I
it
was like, okay,
was.
we getting somewhere. We got nowhere.
Most people just give it a regular name, not a title.
Yeah, or a pun.
Yeah, but
It's
Right.
usually a
but
pun.
right, the fact that it was after Ray Neeson and all that, I thought it was gonna get deeper than him just having a discussion with Ray Nero about it.
Yeah, just encouraging her to do something. Everybody is trying to encourage people to do things, and nobody does them.
Hmm.
That's what that show is about. Um.
All
So
right, so
yeah,
let's see.
then you have
Oh,
Helena and her
That was
reluctance
probably
and
the best scene in the whole show
her
episode.
reluctance
her
to
not
fight.
her yeah not wanting to fight.
Well,
Yeah,
her
she
giving him the
definitely.
business and telling him the truth.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I
That was
like
way
that.
later, but yeah,
Hey,
I
it's
thought that
we're
was
jumping
good on
around
her
on
part.
characters, so
Yeah, I think that was good on her for two reasons. Um, you meet somebody, you date somebody, you don't think anything else about it. You don't even know how you're affecting them unless they tell you. So if they don't tell you, it's never there, right? But damn it, what was my point there? Oh, my bad. But they never tell you it's not there. But in this situation, it's like Helena's been very forthcoming about not wanting to really participate, not understanding, not none of that. Like this ain't her fight. So
It's probably stupid. All of it's probably stupid to her.
it's not that it's
yeah,
stupid, it's that she kind of already she knows prophecy. She already knows how
yeah.
this is going to play out.
She is the three-eyed raven.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
and she is
Do you
a
think
part
that
of
she
that.
is?
I think
No,
well
not
because
not
you
in
know
actuality. I think she's just supposed to represent that class of Game of Thrones.
people,
So
Yeah, the green. I think they call them green seers.
right?
I think she's a green seer, and I think Damon is as well.
But so that in itself, I think, when she passes or when she's like staring off, I think that's her inside the Three Raven's head as it flies around. Um, but yeah, so she could be dangerous. All she got to do is get off her ass. But that's not her part in this, clearly.
Oh, do you think that the three-eyed raven is like inhabiting her somehow, like Hodor?
Not necessarily inhabiting her, but I think it's a conduit of what is that, the werewood and the
Yeah.
trees and all of that. I think
Mhm.
they're all mediums to get to that other plane.
probably.
Yeah, we see a flash of the three-eyed raven in this. The literal bird and also Brendan Rivers, who plays the three-eyed raven in his younger years.
Wait, say that last part again?
So there was that montage in Damon's vision
Mhm.
of an actual three-eyed raven, and then I
Right.
believe you see a flash of Brendan Rivers, who is the three-eyed raven but younger,
Oh,
because he's
right,
been around for 500 years or whatever.
right. Hmm. I know we end up seeing De Niro with the three dragons pop their head out, showing
Yeah,
prophecy to come fulfilled. Um, but yeah. So before we even get to all of that, though, Rhaenyra sent Sir Alfred to talk to Damon, and basically Damon tells him, Rhaenyra got good intentions, but she fucking up, bro. We need you to come back. We need a king. I thought that was a little shitty of him. But
Well, it was kind of expected too, because those guys getting frustrated and then her slapping him, and it was going to create. Even Nick called it. That's going to create some kind of resentment, rebellion,
yeah,
and
of course.
him going off to Damon was kind of right in line with what Nick was saying. How that she's not doing anything and they don't appreciate it.
Yeah,
They want her
yeah,
to do something. We
yeah.
all want
No,
them both. They're all to do something at this point.
right. That's
It's
exactly
just
right.
all chit
Yeah.
chat and planning and
Yep.
plotting, and then nothing happens.
nothing
Yes,
moves.
The
it's
whole
true.
season culminates in nothing happening.
Hmm.
Yep.
Wasn't
Yeah.
it fun?
There was a couple good episodes in there. I will give it that. That's for sure. But the rest of it is I could take it or leave it, to be honest.
No,
No. All right.
I don't buy none of it. I don't buy none of the storyline. I don't know. I'm what I'm doing right now is I'm listening to you guys' version of what you hear, what you saw while we were watching it or while watching this episode. And I'm really waiting, like, okay, did I miss something? Is something else gonna turn a new leaf and click? And it's like, oh, okay, this episode did have more than I thought. Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Yeah, it has a little bit, but it's all in
But
again.
more than I
It's not.
thought.
Yeah, but it's not giving us anything new. The only thing that I would consider sort of interesting is sort of the culmination of Damon's story arc, where he touches the weirwood tree, and you
Yeah.
start to see the things of the Song in the Ice and Fire. And then they go incredibly fourth wall breaking meta and say it's a story. We're just characters in a story. And I'm thinking to
Right.
myself, like, why did you guys do that? Did you do that on
Did
purpose?
you have to do that, jerks?
Right? Like,
Idiots.
how almost I was
Of
about
course
to
they
hit,
did.
like, I thought to
Deadpool just
myself,
came out.
right, exactly. I thought to myself, is somebody going to be like, have you ever heard of the Song of Ice and Fire? Like,
The Song of Ice and Fire. The
you better
song.
start believing in it, Miss Swan. You're in it. Like, good Lord.
Great way to start the musical.
Yeah.
Oh God, I
I'm
hope
sure
she's
that's going to
used
happen someday.
Oh yeah,
Game of Thrones musical.
you better believe it, buddy.
Oh, yeah. I do believe it.
Oh,
What else, guys?
we talked about Sir Gawain and Cole for a kind of a split, but basically Sir Gawain comes up to Kristen Cole and lets him know, like, I know you're sleeping with my sister, the former queen. You've corrupted yourself and you didn't keep your, what is it? He didn't keep his oath.
Yeah.
You know, he broke his and anyway, it's all about shame and corruption and bleak philosophy. But at the end of the day, they agree that the power of dragons is what's above them, and they're just ants on the ground. So death, if anything else, could be a relief. And after Christian Cole hit him with that deep shit, pause, um, Sir Gawain was just kind of over. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes. I'm gonna sit here with you and be somber.
We march into our deaths.
Basically.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. At the whims of, people playing God. Yeah. I kind of thought that was an intriguing that's an intriguing character progression for Kristen Cole. I still think he's awful and I don't know if he's redeemable, but his degeneration into nihilism makes sense to me. It's a matter of whether he leans fully into that nihilism or he tries to redeem himself. That has yet to be seen.
Right.
I was just hoping he would admit that he saw the Kingslayer.
Well, I think he will.
Yeah, but he should have at least did it with this guy, because if he was there and he saw what happened, it's like, man, can we talk about that? You witnessed what I witnessed, right? Because that's basically what really broke his spirit. He saw the Prince Regent or whatever assassinate the king,
Yeah,
and then out of fear for his own life and safety, he just like, what happened?
I mean, shit. Even Aegon didn't see nothing. He don't remember nothing. He the one that
Nobody
got
saw
burned by the
nothing.
damn dragon.
And I'm like, you still the king, right?
No,
the guy
no,
with
no,
the
no.
eye patch is the only one who saw something.
Yeah, he said
The one-eyed.
his dick exploded like a sausage on a spit. He ain't trying to remember shit.
I thought we were forgetting about that.
I'm sorry, I just thought about it again. Like he said that shit. That was comedy.
Because personally, if I'm the king and know you the regent, guess what? I'm recovered enough I'm back in my faculties. Execute this motherfucker right now.
Well, that's what he wanted to do, but Larys wouldn't allow him.
Who the hell is Larys to tell him what to do?
His new daddy.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah,
he did sniff his mama feet.
it's true.
I have no comment on that.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just saying.
Let's see. Bela goes and helps Jace get his spirits up after he's feeling away.
He being soft.
Right. It's weird because Bela and Jace strike me more like brother and sisters than husband and wife.
Are they married?
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
Damn,
because
Now, mind
poor
you,
her.
because they both
they're also
they're
only like
both
16,
children.
but still.
Yeah.
Right, poor her.
Okay.
She got
Yeah,
the
I was hoping.
whiniest of the whinies.
Yeah, I was hoping that he was gonna, nut up at some point and just be head off.
I mean, he's necessary for their Dragon Rider numbers, but guess what? You gonna get your ass in line.
He's not
Right.
that necessary, especially again if Reyna is gonna find that wild dragon. Just swap him.
Yeah, but who's to say she don't establish her own kingdom? Like, look, I'm tired of dealing with all of y'all. Take out the lady who kicked her out, burn their whole city down, rebuild that up as her own. Like, I'm done with all of y'all.
Because we know
Come see me.
we know that's the Eerie, and
Right.
I don't think
That is the
that's gonna
setup.
happen.
Oh, we know that's not gonna happen. But that's what should happen.
Should happen, right? I'm like, that's the setup they're kind of putting
Because
out there.
she kicked her out because I don't know why, because I guess I missed whatever their real beef was. And she
I
kicked
did
her out.
too.
I thought I
get-
missed it, but I was paying attention.
So was I, and I don't understand what happened there. Like, so Reyna was upset that she lied about a dragon being in the Eerie.
She didn't even lie. She just didn't give her a full grown dragon.
Right.
She gave her a baby dragon.
Well, no, but Reyna was upset that Jane Aaron didn't tell her about the full-grown dragon in the Eerie.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's because it's wild.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And
So I mean,
don't
it's
know.
not like it was something to tell her about. Like, yeah, there's a wild dragon here. What the hell you want me to tell you?
Just another plot device,
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
don't go in that
Basically.
dark shadowy place over there.
What, Compton? We don't talk about Compton.
Hey, I mean,
Nice place. Never been.
it's
As well, you shouldn't.
Right.
But yeah, they're getting all cozied up to one another. Meanwhile, Reyna is still sleeping outside, dying of hunger, and Coat to find her dragon that she feels like should be her. Oh yeah, Tyler ends up. Oh, and I already said Tyler ends up winning the battle. Impregnate wives. Oh, is it Bayla? I forget who we talking about just now. Yeah, I think it's Bayla comes back, and Rhaenyra is.
Rhaenyra?
I'm sorry. Rhaenyra wants to. I was about to say Rhaenyra goes somewhere, but that's not what happens. Rhaenyra at this point, Bayla doesn't come back. She is back, and she has this whole talk with Jace and gets his spirits up, like I was saying a minute ago. But what I meant to say was Rhaenyra wants to attack Lannisport and somewhere else. So she basically wants to kill innocents. And for the first time, her council kind of grows a backbone and is like, that's not the best idea. Like, let's not do that. In fact, everybody.
Now you don't want to kill
opposite.
nobody.
Right.
Yeah, now you guys, no, basically it was that the character actually wanted to do something for once, and the story was like, no, you're not allowed to do anything. Just do nothing. I mean, like, that's kind of what it was.
Mhm.
Because we would finally see Rhaenyra do something, and then her counsel's like, no, I don't think that's a good choice.
Jeez.
I mean,
That's,
that's, yeah.
Like that's better than how I'm looking at it, because I'm over here like that shit was just boring.
Yeah.
And then anyway, they have a dinner. But yeah, there's a lot of things I could say are annoying. Maybe that's not as annoying. It's just anyway. Oath comes over. They have a dinner, and Oath is kind of like annoying everybody. He's annoying the waiters, the waitresses, the servant people. He's annoying the shit out of Jace. Rhaenyra get tried a couple times, but she decided not to show him that her backhand was still strong. And at this point, all of the people who are not running was offered. Said the wrong thing.
Knighthoods.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't say the wrong thing. Yeah, I thought the wrong thing. I'm about to say. I was gonna say they were offered dragons. It's like they have dragons. They were offered to be knights. But Rhaenyra receives a message now from Sir. What's his name's not Alfred Strong, but the little Sir Strong that's left behind at Harrenhal, because he overhears Sir Alfred basically telling Damon that he needs to take over. Da da da. He sent a message to Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra immediately is like, "Hey Adam, let's rock out, roll out, homie." And they go and jump on their dragons, and the rest is history. She went and had her discussion unscathed, untouched, and got back with whatever she had to take off with.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, she gets her army from Damon. Damon finally bends the knee to her because he's had an eco death through psychedelics. And now he's no longer a power hungry maniac. He just
I'm
realizes
calling
that
shenanigans on that.
well, it if you take it in the context of he realizes now that he's just a character in this story, like almost in a meta way. Now he's just going along with the story.
yeah. Is it working? How about that? That's the real question.
This is a very deterministic universe where you can see the future and you can see everything perfectly and you know exactly how everything's going to play out. So if you were shown something like that, you would just say, well, there's nothing I can do about it because it's going to play out the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
I suppose.
I suppose too.
No, that's valid. That makes sense. There's really no rebuttal for that, at least on my end, and clearly on Mike's end.
Which is
too.
interesting, actually. I do, you know what? Just to add to that, I do kind of like that juxtaposition because I would say Game of Thrones is more about will and free will, people striving for power, people conniving and plotting, and maybe House of the Dragon is more about determinism, where everything is fated, everything is already set in stone, and these people are just acting out the motions.
Could be. I mean, it is what 400 years in the past from Game of Thrones.
I mean, maybe somebody is, maybe that's a George R. R. Martin thing, but I might be digging too deep on that one. But it does feel like there is something purposeful about the contrast between the two of them.
Right, and I mean, I'm not sure now what time this is because apparently, actual Game of Thrones, Jon Snow meets Aemon Targaryen.
No, that's not the same Aemon.
All right, I'm gonna run with that.
Yeah, I mean, the Targaryens all name themselves the same, like 5 names or 6 names or whatever. So, yeah, the Aemon Targaryen at the wall. I'm pretty sure it's not One-Eyed Willie. Pretty sure.
Not supposed to be possible.
It
unless they got immortals walking around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What else? We got to wrap.
So let's see. No. I'm like, because it's not exciting. There's no excitement. We're just really going through the episode. There's no real exciting. Like, hey man, oh remember this shit happened? Oh, that was crazy. Anyway, Alice comes. She takes Damon over to the weirwood tree. I mean, the weirwoods. He goes over to the No, he goes to the Godswood and he touches the weirwood tree and he sees the prophecy in his little vision he has. It's a prophecy about the Night King, the Three-Eyed Raven, Helena, and he also sees Daenerys with 3 dragons. And I'm like, oh, all right. Well, he knows what's up now. Ain't no way he gonna still be a bad dude. And we were just kind of discussing that.
How are they gonna do like even this show has to diss Jon Snow, huh? They didn't even have him in the vision, the guy that gets brought back from the dead to kill the Night King only to be robbed of it and then has to kill Daenerys. So Daenerys gets a spot in the vision, but not Jon Snow.
His face is bad. Her face is bad.
Your mic is cutting out.
Oh, shoot. I said, wait, repeat your question.
I didn't have a question. I was just telling you that you might cut it.
Before that,
I was saying, why is Jon Snow? Why is Jon Snow getting snubbed? Yeah.
Jon Snow has to catch a stray because they just have to show the correlation of it all and how it all comes full, like all the way around. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just think that if you're going to show a vision of the Song of Ice and Fire, even though he doesn't end up killing the Night King, he still ends up killing Daenerys, and he's still part of the prince who was promised prophecy.
Right.
So I don't know why.
Is he the prince that was promised?
Yeah, because they say that because okay, King Viserys says at the end of his life, he says the prince that was promised was named Aegon, and that's what makes Alicent think that Aegon, her son, is the prince that's promised or the king.
Right.
That's the whole misunderstanding. So they name Jon Snow, and then he's not a part of the vision.
Mhm.
Not
That
even him as a
is
baby.
wild, right? Because it's supposed to be 200 years, and I'm wondering how long do they actually live in this series as
Yeah,
well.
but they have Daenerys. They have Daenerys and her dragons. You
Mhm.
see that. You see the March of the Night Walkers. So
Right.
again, yeah, they just hating on Jon Snow again.
Yeah,
I think Kit
Yeah.
Harrington is just getting pooped on because
Yeah.
you know,
better ease up off the homie.
hey, I got nothing against him. I thought they did him dirty.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, I
You
agree.
know, girl
And then,
power.
let's see what anyway. Damon kneels to Rhaenyra and all of his fleet and all the armies that he now controls kind of take, um, they roll with him. We find out that Aemon is told by Helena that he will die and he's never going to be king, and Aegon will be king again because he's not finished, which would make me think he's the prince from the Song of Ice and Fire, but he hasn't really accomplished enough.
Oh,
Um,
but Jon Snow's name is also Aegon, so she could just be not speaking full information.
it's fair.
Whoops.
So I don't know. You know, she
But
speaks cryptically as it is with her visions, so you know you don't really know 100% what she means.
the question is, do the actors even know what they mean when they say it?
Oh, who knows? Probably not. No. Who knows? All right. Where are we at?
Yeah, sorry,
This is
we're
the
dragging
end.
them. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we're dragging. Corlys talks to Alan. Alan tells him about herself because she was never around. You was never there, father. Daddy wasn't there. And but yeah, he says he's offering help, and that really triggers Alan. Alan reminds him, "We ain't had no father. You ain't never been there to be no father. We ate. You was picking out sweet meats, and we was eating the intestine, whatever was inside that." And
You mean some chitlins?
yeah, I mean, essentially, but that's what was said on there. What they were barely eating. Uh, and Alan says that if he does survive, he don't want no help. Fuck up my face, bro. Then we see a dragon approach. I don't remember it, but we saw a dragon come down, and Alicent goes to Rhaenyra and her keep over at Dragonstone. That don't make sense to me. So she snuck into King's Landing to see you to have the same discussion you just snuck into her business to see. And what's crazy about that is she's supposed to let you leave alive, huh? Those are the rules now. We're gonna taunt people and then turn around and try to say we apologize for our taunt. We just letting them walk out unscathed. She should have boxed that hoe.
Well, she had a swim in the lake and a glamping session. Now she's got to change her heart. She wants to take all of her family and run away. And let Aegon or Aemon die or whatever. Although I don't understand why you would trade Aegon for Aemon or for Luke.
I mean,
It was
welcome to the
Aegon
NBA.
that killed Luke. Why don't you just or Aemon got these fucking names. Aemon killed Luke, so I don't know why they were not wanting to trade Aemon's life in
Like I
order
said,
for Alicent to leave.
these NBA trades are crazy. Sometimes it's hard to understand them.
Yeah. Well, anyways, they decide that it's okay to kill Aegon, and basically Alicent's gonna peace out with Helena. But I get a feeling that they're not going to be able to escape.
I mean, nothing that I saw because I know Addison leaves. She goes into the streets essentially. By the time she makes it to the stairs of the streets, um, Huey P and all the boy, and I'm playing. But yeah, she basically demands that she gets Aegon's head, and it don't really come to her that way. So all the dragon riders are prepared. They're binding up and gearing up for war. Rhaena
How
hopefully is
dare
finished with
she
her
show
dragon.
up, try to vie for peace after somebody else already tried to vie for peace, and then beg for the lives of her monstrous children. Monstrous.
Well,
Mm,
yeah,
I
that's
guess
kind of
I don't really have
Allison's
much more to say on it.
character, though. Allison's character is really about being
An
put
innocent fool.
upon. Yeah, somebody who is
Um,
basically led by the nose. She's not innocent, but
Far
she
from it.
thinks of herself as an innocent who has been forced into every situation she's been in.
Right. She don't see her own plotting and planning just turn back on her trying to be like her daddy.
Yeah. Yeah. She just thinks that everybody is out to get her or whatever, but she's oblivious to her sort of narcissistic impulses.
Lack of accountability.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
wonder where I heard that from.
I don't know. I hear
What
it in the mirror
accountability?
every morning, so
Man, hold yourself
eh,
accountable.
yep. All right. Can we be done? I think this
Yeah, no, I
episode is
mean
sort of
that's
dragging
it.
on.
The dragon
Yeah.
riders are preparing, and everybody's kind of headed out to war. We see Otto in a cell. Aegon is fleeing King's Landing. We see the ships coming to the middle of the blockade from both ends. Whether you're of Salton Sea with the Valerians, or if you're with the Triarchy and all of them over in Essos, everybody getting ready to gear up and get shit going. And yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what does it matter if Rhaenyra has all these dragons, Vhagar, and how much can he really do?
Yeah. I guess we're gonna have to see because it's gonna be Kristen Cole and his army and Aemon and Vhagar against and the Triarchy against Rhaenyra and her dragon riders and the Armada. So
Yeah, yeah.
and the river lords.
It's so funny. I thought you were gonna say the revolution. I'm gonna be like, huh?
The revolution. Yeah, definitely. But we won't know
I
anything
thought
about
Prince
that
in the
for another 2
Revolution.
years.
It's Prince in the Revolution, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. But we won't see anything or know anything about this until about halfway through season 8. So around episode 4, season 8, we'll catch up to what happened in the end of episode 8 of season 2. That's I see it. 8. I meant season 3.
Okay, yeah, because I got real confused for a second there.
Yeah.
Yes, no, I agree. Yeah, I don't know how they're going to wrap this up. I do think it's interesting what Mike said about having perhaps a movie or at least like just a 3-episode arc in season 3 because it does seem as though there is not much more runway ahead of us. And so I don't know how you could stretch that out into 8 episodes. I mean, they can and they likely will, but they probably shouldn't.
I'm pretty sure they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Not probably. I'm pretty sure they shouldn't. It's this information that shouldn't take this long to convey because it's all kind of the same shit that's we already been discussing and talking about. But within all of that, that's episode 8. We also have an entire season to rate right now.
Yeah, I think we should do our season review.
Yeah, yeah. Like give
Who
a couple
wants
of
to go
thoughts how you feel about
first?
that. I mean, I can go first. I'm already kind of, feeling it, going. Got a little bit of yam yam yam. Um, I actually like. Hey, quiet your mouth. I know. Sorry, sound effects and all that always kind of throw you left. Like, what the hell is he talking
They're
about?
wildly popular. All right,
They
go
are.
ahead.
They are.
Fan favorites.
I think season 2 realistically is better than season 1. There were no real expectations for season 2 because season 1 felt like such a letdown that whatever we got from season 2 was kind of going to be a step up, and it was at least that. We got a lot more action, we got a lot more fights. The story though, like I'm gonna keep the story just seems to not move. I feel like we're ending in the same place except everybody's older.
Yeah,
You
for
know.
sure.
So what happened at the end of season 1? For whatever reason, doesn't feel like it affected or changed anything that happened in season 2. It just gave you a platform so you can know who is who and why they are the people that they are. Um, but cinematography always decent. The shots that they chose, the excessive and consistent dragons, even when it came to like all the way near, what was that, episode 6 or episode 5, where I don't think that was episode 6, where Aemon has to hurry up and turn Vhagar around, and we get this out wide screenshot of a dragon turning his back and swinging around, making a U-turn, busting the bitch. I think that was pretty cool. I didn't expect that. And I mostly didn't expect that just because, I mean, Rhaenyra kind of was the shit person at the beginning or at the end of season 1. And you kind of find out that she's not. She's just stern, and she feels like everybody that's with her is against her. And so her lack of confidence is showing. So that's really what I feel about the season. All of that, it wasn't much, but what it was a bit like, you could have gave it more, or you could have showed a little more effort via the script, of course. But ratings wise, because I did like this better than I liked season 1. I don't remember what I gave season 1. I feel like it was extremely low, but this wasn't totally over the top. This didn't give me anything special. So I think I'm going to give the season itself about a 6.
Wow.
Right.
Mind
Mike,
you, it's a TV show 6.
what do you got?
For the record, it's a TV show 6.
I mean, my sentiments are basically what we've already discussed. Season 1 being as poor as it was, it could only go up, because if it went down any further, yikes. There wasn't enough actual happenings. We spent half the season watching Daemon hallucinate and lose his brains, and then he plotted and planned and did nothing. Because that fell flat. I mean, they set it up for him to be this awful turncoat against his wife, the queen, and then they set it up to where he's like, "Just kidding, I love you, and I'm gonna bend the knee." It's like,
LOL.
what?
Yeah.
Right? JK, what? You even had everybody calling you the king, and then that was a huge letdown. Even if you were gonna go with the whole him being against his wife in the end, the way they did that was kind of shoddy, but whatever. And then you have One Eye threatening everybody, and then he doesn't really, I don't know.
He just gave up mid-sentence. Damn.
Right.
All right. Do you give it a rating number?
Yeah, I got a rating for it. I rated it at about a 4 as far as the season.
Damn. Season 1?
Huh?
What did you give season 1?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't think you gave it a 3 though.
I probably not, but this is what I'm rating this season right now.
All right.
This is how I feel about it.
All right.
I can't give it a 6. I could probably stretch it up to a 5 because it was just average. I was let down. Like the last episode was a letdown for me, because I was like, okay, the last episode, at least the war should get kicked off. All we did was get up to a point where it was about to kick off, but not really. It's like, haha, I got you. Nah, we just kidding. What?
Yeah, right. Wait.
What do you mean?
Time.
You give me all. You plateaued. They plateaued right at the beginning, and then just never fell off the cliff. Never rose above anything. There was no real climax for me. It was like getting right to the point where you climax, and then like nothing.
I think the biggest climax is Aemon basically killing or trying to kill Aegon. But he was the climax of season 1, and I thought that wasn't enough either. So, I get what you're saying.
You got the king fleeing his brother, who's not the actual king, and that makes no sense to me.
No, it's just because
I'm still the king. Even if I am physically impaired, I survived dragon fire. Whether or not you want to say it was from Rhaenys or not, I survived it. You know, that's a huge thing for the people. And then I'm still the king. Who's gonna go against the king's word?
Nobody that wants to live.
Right. And so I'm the one running away in fear from my killer brother.
Yeah.
Does he inspire more loyalty than the king himself?
We've never even seen him fight.
Right.
Why is he so? It's really just Vagar that everybody's afraid of.
No, that's not true, because he did have sword practice fights in the first season.
Yeah, when he
and they
was
were
like
saying
10
he was
years
exceptionally
old.
good at sword fighting, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Or was that the beginning of season 2?
We just never see it. Yeah, I get you.
Everything, so much of the stuff happens off camera that you don't really remember it.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, so it's a 4
yeah,
from
it was a letdown. That's why when he said he rated it a 6, I was like, I can't do that in good conscience.
I mean, like I said, as a season, and it's a TV6, and I might be overshooting a little bit.
Right.
I think I'm right there with Keelan, to be honest. We rated season 1 a 6, I believe, and I don't really think that this is much better. I liked episode 7 and 6 and 7 better than most of season 1, but as far as the production is concerned, as far as the costumes and the cinematography, it's all very well done. I just don't find it as compelling as I would like to. And it takes forever for anything interesting to happen. And when it does, it doesn't give it to you. So, yeah.
I wonder if dragons can fly in stale air that's just sitting still.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so that's a 6, a 4. That's a what?
16.
16. All right. So we're at however much that is, 5.3, something like that.
Yeah. Okay, well, 5.3 for this season. As you see, we're ultra excited to talk about it, and that's really the breakdown. Is just
we're not. It's almost midnight. I think we're all just really tired. So
it's all right. I mean, shoot, who knows? Maybe we'll get it. We'll get a official full season reaction and review a little later. But wanted to make sure we got this out there because this episode is burning hot, still on the stove, and I don't know. Like I said, it didn't seem like it carried on, and that does make me curious for episode 3, but it doesn't sell episode 3. And I think in this scenario, you definitely want to sell your materials because there's so many other things for me to watch. Let's see. I guess we rated the season. We talked about episode 8. We talked a little bit about our season experience and how we felt about that. And at the beginning of the show, we talked a little bit about how we were going to, or what we are going to take home to enjoy. Some of you guys did leave things, as I did, that were like little tidbits, but we'll round back into that. Some of that crap we'll talk about in season 3. I don't know. I really want there to be more. I'm hoping they drop like a bonus episode or something.
Nah, you'll just have to wait 2 years.
Yeah,
Right.
clearly. I will say I am curious to what Corliss's origin story is, though, before he and Rhaenys. As I was saying.
Back to this a woman. You're so concerned about this woman.
Right. Why?
Why do you want to keep going back to this mysterious lady?
I mean, sorry.
I don't know. I know you are, apparently.
It might be one of the few things that I'm curious about.
They're going to spend in one entire episode in season 3 just explaining what happened.
They probably will, just to fill it out.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Filler
just
episode.
Explain. Yep.
I must say, I think that'd be cool.
I'm sure you would. All right.
Would it be cool?
All right, let's end this, guys. We gotta wrap this up. It's getting way too long.
I found the interesting part of this episode.
Are you grasping at straws, bro?
Maybe, but honestly, I want more information on how this season was supposed to go, but we're not going to get it. With that being said, we're not going to give you guys any more of our thoughts and or rants about what we seen, what we heard, what we thought, what we saw. because season 2 is a wrap, guys. There's absolutely nothing else to talk about. They're not giving us anything else, and it's off the tables and off the shelves. It'll be back in about a year and a half to 2 years, like always.
I hope it don't take that long.
At
But
least a
yeah,
year.
yeah, probably a year. I think we're gonna be getting it back in the spring next year, moving into the summer, just like we did this one. But yeah, with that being said, I mean, we appreciate everybody for tapping in, checking out the Screen Time Continuum. We're gonna always give you guys some reviews. The moment we get some good stuff to talk about, we watch a movie, even if we watch a terrible movie, we're gonna tell you guys about it. And that's what we have coming next is another movie because again, season 2 is over. We don't know what next show and or series that we've already started will be continuing. So that's not on schedule yet. We're going to be giving you guys movies. Check us out right here on the Screen Time Continuum. Our main show days are Sundays and Wednesdays. And then you never know, you might catch a makeup or just an extra video on another day. So stay tuned, hit that little bell, subscribe, and we'll be sure to entertain. Mike, what were you about to say?
Now I was gonna say that they are bringing back the rings.
And
Yeah,
we'll
at
be
the end of the
sure
month.
to entertain. Yeah, okay, we
Yeah,
can get back to it's not Elden Rings. What is it called again?
Rings of
Rings of
Power.
power.
Rings of Power. That's how many rings related shows and stuff from video games are out there, and that's how memorable the one
What?
we're reviewing are. I mean,
All
there's a
right.
lot with ring in it, but they're
Good
not
night,
as interesting.
everyone.
All right. We appreciate you guys for hanging out here on the Screen Time Continuum. For the Screen Time Continuum, my name is Keelan,
I'm Nick.
Mike.
and we're out of here. We appreciate you guys. Later on.
Nick, you
Good night.
tired?
Dude, yeah. So tired.